What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. Another week is in the books. Another Monday has arrived, and it was basically a dead break-even week for us yesterday. Last week, 9-9-1. We still have the Japan and the World Baseball Classic. That was a future that might come through. That's why there's only 11 instead of 12. Instead of 21. The Gonzaga defeat last night. It should have been a 2-1 day yesterday. We should have been up 2 units on the week. For anybody who watched, we had Gonzaga minus 4.5. It's being considered one of the terrible bad beats. Gonzaga lets them inbound the ball, let it roll all the way to half court. Buddy picks it up and just jacks the shot up with 0.7 seconds left. And it hits, and they win by 3 instead of by 6. And so we lose that bet. You almost don't want to count it, but what are you going to do? That's sports. That's the way it goes. We hit Verstappen or Perez. That was one of the easiest bets of all time. Was one of the Red Bull drivers to win the Saudi Grand Prix yesterday. That was never in doubt whatsoever. And we had the Phoenix Suns on the money line. They lost by 4 to Oklahoma City. But the Gonzaga one is just a bummer, man. We've been killing the NCAA. We were 7-1, up 6 units. Should have been 7, but it is what it is. We are back on a Monday, and I've got 2 NHL bets and 2 NHL bets and 1 NBA parlay. We're going to start in the NHL tonight. We've got the Ottawa Senators and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I like the Pittsburgh Penguins on the money line here in regulation because then you get it for essentially even money. Pittsburgh is coming into this game 34-25-9 overall. Senators are 33-31-4, so fairly even records. But at home this season, the Penguins are 19-10-5. Much better at home. Senators much worse on the road, 14-18-2. So I do like that. Both teams are struggling a little bit. The Ottawa Senators have come into this losing 5 straight games and 6 of their last 10, whereas the Pittsburgh Penguins are coming into this having lost their last 3 games in a row. They just lost 6-0 to the Rangers. They lost 4-2 to the Rangers previous to that and lost 6-4 to Montreal. So both teams are struggling. Senators, as I mentioned, 0-5 in their last 5. Also 0-5 in their last 5 playing on 1 day's rest. Pittsburgh Penguins are 1-5 in their last 6 playing on 1 day's rest. But against each other, this is where if both teams are struggling. I like the home team first and foremost, and they do have a slightly better record. But Ottawa is only 4-23 the last 27 times they've played in Pittsburgh. They have been terrible. You might say, well, at 27 meetings, that's a long time. Okay, how about that? They're 2-6 in their last 8 most recently. And the home team is 36-15 the last 51 times these two teams have played. It's a bit too juicy to play this, including overtime or the shootout. But I do like this in regulation as essentially a pick'em. It is minus 104. So give me the Pittsburgh Penguins to win this in regulation at home, minus 104 at Pinnacle Sports. Staying in the NHL, we've got the Sharks and the Oilers. You might say, well, that's an auto fire over. This is not an auto fire over. I'm actually going to, that's right, take an under for the Edmonton Oilers because this number is at 7. Let me tell you why. Obviously, both teams are very good to the over. Edmonton 42-22 to the over. San Jose 39-28 to the over. Here's the problem. San Jose can't score lately. So they're giving up a ton of goals, but they're not scoring any goals. In their last however many games this ends up being, they've scored 1, 2, 4, 0, 3, 3, 3, and 1. They haven't scored over 3 goals. Sorry, they did score 5 against Columbus in overtime on the 14th, but in the other 10 games, the 9 games that they've played, they haven't scored more than 3, and most of the time they're scoring 1 or 2. Now you look at Edmonton, 6, 4, 6, 4, 3, 3, 5, 6, 5, and 2. So yes, they are scoring, but San Jose's just not. Under is 5-0 in the Sharks' last 5 when opponents have scored 5 or more goals in their previous game. Under is 6-0 in their last 7, 6-0-1 in their last 7 road games. Under is also 4-1 in their last 5 Monday games. Now, yes, Edmonton is scoring over like crazy. That's great. But I just think Edmonton might score 6 goals in this game. They might win 6-0, or they might win 6-1 and we push. But I just don't think San Jose can score enough to get this to 8 goals. Skinner is expected to be in net tonight for Edmonton. He's 22-14. He's got a goals against under 3 and a save percentage of 9-1-2. Now on the flip side for San Jose, Kekkonen is brutal. But again, Edmonton, maybe we see the same thing we saw with Boston yesterday, where Boston had the over by themselves. They won 7-0. And maybe Edmonton wins the 7-0. It's just going to be tough for this to get to 8 when I don't see the the San Jose Sharks scoring a goal. So I'm going to take Sharks and Oilers under 7 for -125 at BetMGM. As always, I like the push potential there. Last bit of the day is in the NBA. We've got the Chicago Bulls facing the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're going to go the prop route here. Now, I got this for +122 at DraftKings last night. I think it's dipped a little bit, but anywhere around plus money, I like this bet. I've got Joel Embiid and James Harden to both record a double-double against the Chicago Bulls. The thing I like about James Harden is he's a triple-double machine. He could get this double-double really with points, rebounds, or assists, which I very much like. You can see it coming from either way. His last game, he had a triple-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Previous to that, he had 28, 12, and 6, 18, 14, and 2, 19, 9, and 9. He had 20 assists on March the 6th against the Indiana Pacers. The odds of him getting a double-double because you have the potential for rebounds, assists, and points, I like that very much. They're playing a Chicago Bulls team who is struggling. They're currently in and around the play-in spot. Philadelphia is pissed off. They're annoyed. They're rolling right now. I think, also, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, so sometimes with these bets, if they're way up and the guys don't play, it could be trouble. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Philadelphia has won 7 straight basketball games, but they're not winning they just beat Charlotte by 40, and even in that game, James Harden had a triple-double, right? And he played 31 minutes, had a triple-double. So I like him to get at least the points, and then you've got the assists or rebounds there. And then you look at Joel Embiid. I think he's going to be pissed off coming into this game. There's a lot of talk about is he or is he not the MVP? Is he going to go to Jokic? They talk about his defense. Is he worth it? Is he valuable? He's an emotional player, and I think he's going to play emotional tonight. His recent stats, so 31-7, 38-13, 36-18. He has been struggling on the rebounding front, 7, 7, 5, 6, and 8. During this winning streak, but I do think because he's going to be annoyed, I think he's going to have a monster game. And again, I like the Chicago Bulls. Like the recent teams they've played, Indiana, Charlotte, Washington, Portland, Minnesota, they're not very good, right? And then when he is playing a good team, Milwaukee puts up 31-10. That was with assists. Miami, 27-12. Boston, 41-12. Memphis, 27-19. When he's playing against good competition, he's putting up the rebound, he's putting up the boards, they're playing better defense. And again, I think he's going to be looking to be angry, he's annoyed, he wants to be the MVP, it would be his first MVP award. This might be the last run for this Philadelphia 76ers team, trusting the process, all that kind of stuff. So I look for Embiid to get the double-double as well, along with James Harden. So give me that. I got it for +122, anywhere around plus money. I do like that bet. Those are your bets for Monday. No video on Tuesday as we take a little breather from the sports world, which I always recommend. So let me run back down your card for Monday night. Give me the Pittsburgh Penguins in regulation for -104 at Pinnacle Sports. Give me the San Jose Sharks and the Edmonton Oilers to go under 7, -125 at BetMGM. And give me Joel Embiid and James Harden to each record a double-double against the Bulls for +122 at DraftKings. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. At Tyler Connie on Twitter for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portions of these videos. And audio versions are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Have a great Monday. We'll be back on Wednesday to talk more sports. Have a good one.